I'll clear my throat there for a second. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what is going on? Good evening, everybody. This is the Club of the Man, 1993. And it's going to be quite the night, I got to say, tonight, as I have at least 3, hopefully more, streams coming to you tonight. Of course, so we're reviewing Monday Night Raw later on tonight. We have this stream right now. And since, of course, I'll be watching the Home Run Derby and Monday Night Raw tonight, I'll also be rooting on, of course, even though I get to who I think is going to win the Derby tonight, I still going to be rooting for, of course, my boy Josh Bell from the Pirates tonight, as he, participates in his first Home Run Derby, named to his first All-Star game as well. He will be the starting designated hitter, believe it or not, for the National League this year. So that's pretty exciting for Josh Bell, getting a nod. He's getting into the monster season he is having so far. Definitely MVP caliber, but of course it's going to be taken by Yelich or Bellinger, which of course we'll talk about that when we get to the predictions as well. So guys, once again, this is the Club of the Man 93. Usually, last year I didn't do mid-season predictions and whatnot. I was a little burned out with baseball at the time, so I'd wait until after the trade deadline, where some exciting things happened at last year's trade deadline. Of course, I want to try to do something about with the trade deadline this year. See if I come up with something. But of course, I want to get back to again, do my my mid-season predictions, which I also kind of talk about what's happened so far. Went back, of course, and watched my early season predictions from the preseason and see what happened earlier in the year and what I have so far. What's going on so far is this is talk about what I see happening for the rest of the year as well, and we'll get right to it. So starting off, we're going to go back to the American League, as we should start off with. Start with the American League West. So far this year, at the beginning of the year, here's my predictions. I predicted last place to be the Rangers, 4th place the Mariners, 3rd place the Angels, 2nd place the Athletics, and 1st place the Astros. I think the American League West is going to be a decent division, not too strong. Honestly, though, look at it, though. My cousin pointed this out to me the other day. The American League, most divisions, they're blowouts. Like most of the divisions, are pretty set already. Who's going to win the divisions? More so, it's the wild card team needs to be aside. But the National League, tons of competition in the National League. Like the Marlins are the worst team in the National League, but they're only 13 games back in the wild card race. Like everybody else is under 10 games still in the wild card race. Even like the teams have losing records. Like it's very close. Like again, the worst record is by the Marlins, who are like 33-58 or something like that, which is not as bad as the Royals, Tigers, and the Orioles, who are 27-62 so far this year. Are they going to crack 50 wins this year? I don't know. We'll have to wait and see. But anyways, so at the beginning of the year, I predicted it was going to be the Rangers placing last, then the Mariners in 4th, 3rd the Angels, 2nd the Athletics, and 1st place the Astros. Close, but there's a little bit of shuffling around here. The Astros are ahead in the division. They've been a little bit of a cold stretch lately, but they're still ahead in their division. Of course, they recently got back George Springer, and of course they have Alex Bregman having a good year, not as good as I hoped with the batting average. I mean, power-wise, the power is there. The batting average, though, could be a little bit higher than I was hoping for. But they got Springer back. Correa and Altuve have been dealing with some stuff as well. So hopefully they'll get back on track soon. But the Astros are still chucking hard with the strong rotation and whatnot. So they're in 1st. Athletics are in 2nd place, not as strong as they were last year, but still putting on a good show. Am I surprised? The 3rd place team is the Rangers. Younger talent teams start blossoming and gelling well together. Because this is the last year they're going to be at Globe Life Park. Next year, moving across the street, going to Globe Life Field. But also keep in mind, the Rangers actually added Hunter Pence this offseason. And even though I don't think Hunter Pence is as good of a player, ability-wise when it comes, he's having a good year. He actually did get voted as a designated hitter for American League, the All-Star team. Unfortunately, I think he got replaced due to injury, I think, or something like that. After, of course, he also got a late start to the regular season due to injury. But Hunter Pence's leadership always think it works very well. Like it did with the Giants as well. Helped them get to the playoffs as well. So I'm assuming Hunter Pence is. I'm not saying Hunter Pence is the main reason why the Rangers are doing not too bad. Like they're 48-40 so far, I think, this year. They're kind of in good, decent contention for a wild card spot. But I what was I going to say now? But I do feel like Hunter Pence's leadership always has an impact on a team for sure. So that might be why the Rangers are doing good, having like a veteran like Hunter Pence. Kind of adding some veteran, you know veteran burst to the offense basically. And he's having one of the better seasons he's had in a long time, I gotta say. So props to him for sure. And they have some young pitchers who are definitely interesting as well. So the Rangers are on their way up for sure. The Angels are in fourth place. Of course, you can never tell, what's going to happen with the Angels. They have Mike Trout. Other than Mike Trout, who else there is there? I mean, Albert Pujols is starting, crack down a little bit. CJ Cron's doing all right. But yeah, Angels, there's the Angels. Of course, they're dealing with the death of Tyler Skaggs. We still don't know what it was that happened that killed them. Unfortunately, we got that. And in last place is the Mariners. It's funny, they were on my prime 9 for surprise teams. I thought they're off to a pretty good start. They really brought out the power bats for sure. Of course, they did trade away Edwin Encarnacion like a couple days after he hit his 400th home run to the Yankees. So that's a power bat loss in there. But I didn't expect the Mariners to even be that great this year. I mean, they're all right. They're one of the league leaders in home runs, I think, as a team, I think. But, of course, this is them starting over to rebuild again. They have some veterans in there, like, Jay Bruce. Tim Beckham's been a solid addition. The breakout year of Danny Vogelbach, who got elected to the All-Star game. Pitching has its ways, to improve on for sure, but the Mariners are starting over, which I kind of expected to do so because, as I said, the one thing I learned that the Mariners didn't really have many prospects coming up in the farm system. So they're definitely starting over. Probably not going to battle their way back. So they're in last place. And how I see it finishing is, I think everything will basically remain the same. I think the Astros will place first, Athletics second, Rangers third, Angels fourth, and Mariners will finish fifth. That's what I see for the American League West. The American League Central, at the beginning of the year, it's going to be the Indians, easily winning this division. Twins put up a solid run. White Sox third, Tigers and Royals at the bottom. Well, here's how this division is going right now. Right now, the Tigers and Royals are basically towards the bottom, two of the worst teams in the league. And the Tigers are last. Royals are like a half game ahead of them. They're both on their way to like 100 lost seasons. White Sox are in third, but they're about 500. So they're showing signs that things are starting to get put together, even though they have at times before, and they still flunder down like 100 lost seasons like they did last year. Second place, around a 500 record, the Indians, who I believe, are they the wild card team right now? Yeah, they are the second wild card team right now. But the Indians are in second place. Kind of surprised by that for sure, even though they got rid of a couple like key names in Encarnacion, Yan Gomes, and a couple other big names. I still thought they had, they also got rid of Michael Brantley, the free agency, but I still thought, they had some names still, in there ready to, still, be a strong competitor. Now it's like they're just a wild card team and kind of not as strong as they used to be. So, of course, they're in second place, but first place, the biggest surprise team I'd say this year is the Twins. I mean, I think they were going to be better, maybe up for a wild card spot for sure, but yeah, they're killing it, especially with the bats. I think they're leading the league in home runs. They have 157 so far, I think, with home runs right now. With Eddie Rosario, Max Kepler's swinging the stick as well. I think they have still Miguel Sano. They have Jorge Polanco at shortstop having a great. I think he got elected to start shortstop for the All-Star game, I think, for them. But the offense is really coming along, and the pitching is not too bad either. Rocco Baldelli as Twins manager this year. Thumbs up, my friend. I mean, I know his career as a player had to be cut short early because of a disease he suffers from. Definitely was definitely a great asset to the Tampa Bay Rays organization, for sure. But yeah, definitely a big surprise there. They're one of the best records in the league. They're in like the 50 win column or something, like 50. Let's see. What we look up real quickly here. The actual standings to see the actual numbers. So and see how many wins the Twins have. It's definitely among the league leaders. I think so. Scroll down. Load. Okay, that's those numbers there. Where in the world is the standings? I know it's there. Come on. Oh, screw it. It give me trolls. Anyways, though, but yeah, either way, the Twins again are definitely one of the biggest surprise teams so far. I gotta say. So for the rest of the year, I think. Well, everything's gonna stay the same. Twins will place first, Indians second, White Sox will place third. I think the Tigers will edge out the Royals fourth and fifth place. I think. Right now, again, the Royals are just half a game ahead of the Tigers, but I think the Royals are going to finish last. Tigers will finish fourth, I think. The weakest division's probably in Major League Baseball. The American League East, though, will be interesting. At the beginning of the year, I predicted to be the Yankees placing first, Red Sox second, Rays third, Blue Jays fourth, and Orioles fifth. Well, that's all the same. We have the Orioles in last place, being a terrible team again. They only have a guy signed to a 7-year deal who can't even get a hit in 50 at-bats, Chris Davis. The Blue Jays, yeah, they're looking pretty bad. They're like 33 and 52, I think. I expect to be like a 70-win team. Not too good this year for the Blue Jays. Well, they do have, of course, some excitement with Vlad Jr., who's going to be in the home run derby tonight, which I think he's not going to win, but I think he'll put on a strong performance, I think, at least at the Final Four. We have Vlad Guerrero Jr. For the Blue Jays, but yeah, they're fourth. The Red Sox are in third, getting back up to the win category. They're like, 48, 41, or 49 for them, but they got a pretty bad start. The Rays placing second, been a solid team this year with the young talent they've gotten from trades in the past year or two or so. I mean, yeah, they got rid of a couple of big names last year, but the young talent is definitely blossoming for sure. The Rays are competing and are the top wild card team. It's in second place. And first place, the Yankees. But the fact that the Yankees have had most of their better players injured most of the year. But even some of the babyface Yankees, the babyface Bombers, or Bronx Babies, whatever you want to call them, have been definitely stepped up big time to help this team out for sure. But yeah, so the rest of the year, I think it's going to stay the same. Orioles and Blue Jays. I think the Red Sox will just outdo the Rays in wins, but of course they won't get as far in the playoffs. But I think the Rays will be third, Red Sox second, Yankees in first. For wild cards, I thought it was going to be the Red Sox and Rays at the beginning of the year. Right now it's the Rays and Indians, but I think it's going to be the Red Sox and the Rays, with the Red Sox being the home team, Rays being the away team. But of course, we'll get to that later. National League. Time to go to the competitive National League. Again, most of these races are so tight right now. In the National League West, at the end of the year, I predicted to be the Dodgers, Rockies, Padres, Giants, and Diamondbacks being a team on a rebuilding year. Not so the case. The Dodgers, yes, they're in first place, probably the best team in baseball, the best record with, I think, 60 wins, I think. Diamondbacks are in second with like a 46 and 45 record or something like that. They're actually a pretty good young hitting team. I didn't expect them to be so, but they are, especially after losing Goldschmidt. They've had a great replacement in Christian Walker. David Peralta's having a good year. Nick Ahmed, I believe, is on that team too. And they have their pitching staff led by Zach Greinke's been doing great. So I'm not going to roll out the Diamondbacks. They're in second. Of course, this is a tight, race here. Third place is the Padres at like 500. They got Hunter Renfroe and that Reyes guy, who are both over 25 homers. They have some great hitting, of course, from Manny Machado. Okay, so Will Myers in there, and their pitching staff's looking great. They're definitely a team up on the rise for sure, competing for the wild card spot for sure, with some power in those bats for sure. They're third place. Rockies off to a slow start here, but they're kind of back in the race a little bit, going with like a 44 and 45 record, something like that. They're in fourth place though. Fifth place though is the Giants. They're only 41 and 48, so they're not completely out of it yet. Not as weak as you thought they were, but I think the Giants' better days are definitely behind them. And Madison Bumgarner will probably get traded to the Yankees at the trade deadline, as we're all predicting. If not some other big name team, he'll be traded to. But the rest of the year, I think it's going to be the Giants will place last. Padres will place fourth, but have like around a 500 record. Rockies third, a little bit over 500. Second place is the Diamondbacks, same thing. And first place will be the Dodgers, of course. So tight race for sure. Especially the same can be said for the National League Central, my division, because my Pirates playing that. And it's exactly what I thought it would be. Not the highest winning teams. Of course, the Cubs were in first place with 47 wins. Reds are in last place, like 41 wins. Very tight race. Think like 4.5 back, I think, from first to last is the case here. The Cubs are in first. Brewers are right behind them in second. Uh, Cardinals in third. Right now, the Pirates are in fourth, and the Reds are in last. But I did predict the Reds fourth, Pirates last. Now the Reds, of course, again did get that big trade with a couple big names with the Dodgers, but it hasn't really worked out too well. I mean, Yasiel Puig has 20 homers, but he's still not standing out that much to me, besides causing trouble. Matt Kemp was released, and now he's with the Mets. I forgot what Alex Wood is doing, but yeah, Reds I think might still reach the bottom. I think but have like a 73 win season or something like that. But the rest of these teams are going to be great. The Pirates, yes, they've been having the bullpen's been a little strange this year again, but it's been the injury bug so far really catching on to them. But trust me, when this team has all of its marbles in, they're actually a pretty fun team to watch. Like I think they will finish around 500. I gotta say again this year, but not really. Maybe not really get too deep into the wild card contention. Will depend on how much more competitive these divisions can get. But I don't think the Pirates are going to make the playoffs. But actually, throw a curveball here. The Reds are going to place last. The Cardinals are going to be around 500 too, but they're going to place fourth. I think the Pirates will just outdo the Cardinals to place third. And I think the Cubs, who they still have a bunch of players, but they're not as strong of a team, with chemistry as they used to be. And no offense, but Joe Madden's got to go, I think Joe Madden is really starting to, get under a lot of people's skins and whatnot. And he's not really as good of a manager as he looks when he first came to the Cubs. I think the Cubs are going to, fall off a little bit, but sell for a wild card team and play second. The Brewers, they could add one more starting pitcher, and that team's complete. I think the Brewers are going to run away with this division. They have all the offense in the world. They have some decent starting pitchers. I think they could use one more, very solid arm for that starting rotation. It could be Madison Bumgarner. It could be I don't know, whoever else is on the market at this point. I know a lot of teams are interested in Tigers reliever, closing pitcher Shane Green. They could go after him maybe too or whatnot. But one more solid arm for sure for the Brewers, and they're going to be in there. Now, of course, since I'm a Pirates fan, we're talking about Pirates again. The offense is there. The pitching is there when it's healthy, whatnot. The bullpen, yeah, a little shaky, but, there's still some good arms in there. I personally think if the Pirates are going to make any moves at the trade deadline, or at most of these teams, I feel, maybe the Reds could be sellers, but I feel like most teams should at least stay putters, like pick up some piece. Or do both, like sell and buy. Like, for example, the Pirates, Francisco Cervelli announced the other day he's done catching. But I don't see any other options for him if he's not going to be catching with the Pirates. So I think that he maybe can be traded to like an American League team or something like that. And I think the Pirates should either pick up one more solid bullpen arm or pick up a catcher. And I think that Elias Diaz is great, but I feel like he does need another veteran backstop to work with him. Since he's still young, I think someone else could benefit. I mean, Jacob Stallings is not bad, but I'd rather have somebody else in a playoff, in a tight playoff race, be working with Elias Diaz. But that's my thoughts on the Pirates. So again, for the American League, National League Central, I think it's going to finish the Reds in last, Cardinals fourth, Pirates third, Cubs second, Brewers first. And boy, the National League East. Here's what I predicted. Marlins placing last, Mets fourth, Phillies third, Braves second, Nationals first. This is my prediction again. I was very high on the Nationals, but they got to a terrible start. Dear Lord, did the Nationals get off terrible. And they're kind of climbing. They're like 45 and 41. They're really not as dangerous of a team as they look, though, I say. So what I'm going to do here, I'm going to have predictions for the rest of the year. The Marlins will still place last, even though they're not as bad as I thought. The Mets will place fourth, because they're the Mets and they seem like a mess right now behind the scenes as well. They have the amazing rookie and Pete Alonso having 30 home runs by the All-Star break. He could reach 50 for the second time in the last 3 years. We'll have a rookie with 50 home runs. Maybe we'll see. I think the Nationals will fall to third place. Phillies, the reason is because even for the Phillies, they lost Andrew McCutchen the rest of the year to an ACL injury, which is a shame. They haven't been afraid, though, the past couple years to make some big moves. And I feel like they will go after a strong outfielder on the market. Who knows? They could pick someone from the Pirates. I see the Pirates trading one of their outfielders. I'm hoping, if I had a preference, it would either be Dickerson, Melky Cabrera, or Polanco. One of those outfielders. I don't want to trade Marte yet. I definitely don't want to trade Brian Reynolds. So I definitely think the Phillies will pursue another outfielder to replace Kutch, who will be back next year after recovering from an ACL injury. But they'll play second and be the second wild card. And first place will be the Braves, who still have their young players really growing together. Josh Donaldson's having an excellent year so far. With the Braves that just being injured the past couple seasons, he's putting on a good showing. I gotta say. So I'd like to see. I think the Braves will place first and win their division again this year. And for wild cards, well, at the beginning of the year, I thought it was going to be the Brewers and Cardinals. Now it's the Nationals and Phillies. But I think it's going to end up being the Cubs and Phillies in the wild card game this year, I got to say. For MVP, for American League, I thought it was going to be Alex Bregman. He's having a great year, but I still think the batting average should be a little bit higher. So the safe bet for me at this point is Mike Trout, who's putting on another MVP caliber season. Hopefully, he'll be healthy for the whole year. The past 2 seasons, he's had a minor injury or an injury that's kept him out for a little bit of time. So I think healthy, Mike Trout's going to have one of his best seasons of his career for sure, as he's already off. Doing an excellent start as always. National MVP, it doesn't mean Corey Seager. Not putting on as good of a year as I thought for the Dodgers. Now, of course, it's either going to be Christian Yelich or Cody Bellinger. I love me some Christian Yelich. I also love me some Cody Bellinger. They're both awesome players. Personally, though, I think it's going to be Cody Bellinger. I think, Christian Yelich, yeah, he's now one ahead of Bellinger in home runs, but Bellinger's got a little bit more on the batting average than Yelich. He's a little higher in RBIs. I think, Yelich still going to have a great second half. I'm hoping he gets like 45, 50 homers. Bellinger, I think, has a chance to crack 50 as well. But I think Bellinger's just going to outdo him, and he'll win the MVP award, I think, for the National League. So I think Cody Bellinger and Mike Trout are MVPs. Cy Young Award winners. The American League, well, National League is pretty obvious. It's probably going to be Max Scherzer again. 9-5, strong ERA, leading the league in strikeouts. I think it's going to be him, no doubt about it. For the American League, though, originally beginning of the year, I predicted Garrett Cole for the Astros. They're still having a good year, but not as good as another former Pirate on this Pirate that I noticed. How about Charlie Morton? Mr. 10-2, I think, or something like that, with like a 2.32 ERA, 142 strikeouts. He's having a year of years that I've been hoping he'd have with the Pirates, but of course he was injured a lot. But I'm happy for him. Austin Meadows is doing great. Tyler Glass now, until he got injured, was doing great for the Rays as well. As that Rays team has a couple of really talented Pirates players that are just really clicking in Tampa Bay. And I think I would like to see at this point Charlie Morton be the one to win the Cy Young Award for the American League. So my Cy Young winners are Morton and Max Scherzer. American League Rookie of the Year. At beginning of the year, I predicted Vladimir Guerrero Jr. Not too bad of a start so far for Vlad Jr., but I feel that someone who's been a little more impactful as a rookie, Luke Voit. Yankees first baseman Luke Voit. He has 17 homers so far this year, like a 280 average. He got snubbed from the All-Star game, but I still feel like he's put on a dominating performance for sure. People are saying that Brandon Lowe from the Rays is a good choice too, which I definitely could agree with. But my pick would be Luke Voit over Vlad Jr. For National League, being here, it's going to be Victor Robles of the Nationals. I think this one's unanimous decision. It's got to be Pete Alonso. 275 average, 30 homers. He's probably going to rack up 100 RBIs. Came out of nowhere to me, I got to say, and I think he's going to win the National League Rookie of the Year. American League Manager of the Year. American League Manager of the Year, though, was tough. I still have a soft spot for Kevin Cash of the Rays, because even though they traded away some key players last year, they definitely got some great names in return for prospects, and their team is really taken off this year, I got to say, for the Rays. But part of me also likes not Charlie Morton, Rocco Baldelli of the Twins. Based off of the year he's putting on, having the Twins being one of the best teams in the league, I think Baldelli might just outdo Kevin Cash, I think. So Rocco Baldelli will be American League Manager of the Year. National Manager of the Year, I put all my marbles in on Dave Martinez of the Nationals, but instead I'm going to go with with Gabe Kapler for the Phillies, getting them back into the race and such. I think Gabe Kapler will be National League Manager of the Year. American League Comeback Player of the Year, that was going to be Miguel Cabrera at the beginning of the year, but yeah, he's batting .309, was like, 6 homers, 36 RBIs. Gary Sanchez of the Yankees, I think is the best comeback player of the year for the American League so far. And for National League, I thought it was going to be Madison Bumgarner, doing all right. Nothing really standing out, though, for the Giants. I think the comeback player of the year, honestly, I was going to go with Chris Bryant. But now that I think about it more, I think I'm leaning more towards Josh Donaldson. Injuries have limited him the past couple years. He's been healthy so far. He's been a great addition to the Braves lineup. I think he should win the National League Comeback Player of the Year award now. So for the wild card game, at the beginning of the year, I had the Red Sox defeat the Rays, but now, honestly, I think the Rays will just defeat the Red Sox. And I think the Red Sox will just, pass them up in the division. But I think the Rays will defeat the Red Sox in the wild card game. National wild card game, I originally had the Cardinals defeating the Brewers, but then I changed my mind and I went with now I'm looking at seeing the Phillies defeating the Cubs. I gotta say, a little bit of a curveball there. American League Division Series, the first series, Houston and Boston. I think I originally had, Houston over Boston, 3-2, and the Yankees over the Indians, 3-0. But now I'm thinking the Indians will now defeat the Rays 3-2 in a nice rivalry series. And the Twins, I see overcoming the 2017 World Champion Astros 3-1. Let's see the Twins have a good performance in this postseason. National League Division Series, I originally had the Cubs and over the Cardinals and the Nationals over the Dodgers, so tight series. But now I think it's going to be the Dodgers taking out the Phillies 3-1, and the Brewers will take out the Braves 3-1. Also, I'll say a rematch from last year. And for the American League Championship Series, rematch from 2017, I think the Yankees will defeat I'm sorry. I originally thought it was going to be Yankees and Astros 4-2, but I think now it's going to be Yankees defeating the Twins 4-2. National League Championship Series, I originally predicted the White Sox over the Cubs 4-3, but now I think it's going to be the Dodgers 4, Brewers 3, and another tight series just like last year. So I think the World Series is going to be the Yankees and Dodgers. I originally predicted the Yankees and Nationals. Again, don't know why I was so high on the Nationals earlier this year. But I think it's going to be the Yankees over the Dodgers, 4-2, and World Series MVP at the beginning of the year is the same for me at the end of this year, Aaron Judge. So that, guys, those are my picks and my 2019 midseason MLB review and predictions. Been a fun season so far, definitely some big names. And of course, the National League being very competitive, very close races. Definitely a lot of teams are still alive. And, of course, it's very interesting what happens to the trade deadline for some of these teams, whether they're going to be buyers or sellers. American League, for most part, seems pretty set, but things could change. We'll see what happens with the National League when it comes to the end of the season. So, guys, once again, what are your thoughts on the midseason predictions for Major League Baseball? Of course, my prediction tonight for the Home Run Derby. I'm rooting for Josh Bell. But I can honestly see Pete Alonso winning this home run derby. I do feel Alonso looks like a guy who has the potential to, know how to handle a home run derby like Yoenis Cespedes did. Space yourself out, take the swings in the B, don't, overdo it and whatnot. Because there was a lot when dealing with the home run derby. I mean, for the old format, when it used to have the out system and whatnot, there's guys who be sitting there for like an hour and a half, where others could be sitting there for like 20 minutes in between rounds, and when they get back up to the bat and they're stiff and whatnot. But again, I still really like the new system. It's a lot more fair, and I think it also prevents some people from going into slumps after trying to home run derbies. That's why some people don't do the home run derbies, because it affects their swing in the second half. Which my thing is well, I say try it one time. If it affects your swing, don't do it again. But yes, I'm definitely rooting for Josh Bell, but my sleeper pick to win, I still say, is Pete Alonso of the Mets. So, guys, what are your thoughts going together? Thoughts down in the comment section below about your the midseason predictions for you for Major League Baseball, and what you got for the rest of the season. Slap a like on my video, subscribe or comment on my channel. Follow me on Twitter at DemandAirBody3. I'll be up here hopefully a little bit also to do live reactions during Josh Bell's turn at the plate, cracking the balls out of the yard. Hopefully he'll win it. Again, I'm still picking Pete Alonso, but I'm still rooting for Josh Bell. And with that, I think I will check out, guys. So have a great rest of your day. And I'll see you guys later on tonight for live reactions during the Derby and my and my Monday Night Raw live review as well. So until then, guys, have a great rest of your night, and peace out, everybody.